Hello, news. And we begin with some sad news. This just broke when we finished recording last week, and that is the death of Lance Reddick. It's shocking, totally shocking, at age 60 of natural causes.
Yep.
I don't think we know yet how it is that he died.
Yeah, they have not made an official statement on that, but, you know, I'm definitely reaching the age where 60 is like, he was so young.
My first thought was 60 is so young, completely. Yeah. It makes no sense. And of course, he is one of the stars of John Wick Chapter 4, which is in theaters this weekend. Yeah. So, I mean, the timing anytime would be heartbreaking, but especially now to see his beautiful work in that film and what he brought to that whole franchise, sort of an elegance and a wisdom, but also like a bit of a twinkle, like a bit of a hint of humor to it all, knowing the outlandishness of the proceedings.
Absolutely. Yeah. The gravitas mixed with just a little bit of like, can you even believe this?
Yeah. And so great on The Wire. I mean, just an incredible presence, just angular and sleek and just imposing, but fascinating. And just a big, big loss. And so that's very sad. So definitely rest in peace to Lance Reddick. And just awful timing. And so that happened. And then Shazam, Fury of the Gods opened over the weekend, and it tanked. It made $31 million. The first Shazam made $53 million. It got a B+ cinema score, which does not sound like it's a bad thing, but anything under an A is considered a failure.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and obviously there's a lot of Monday morning quarterbacking about this kind of thing and what happened. But, you know, I suspect that a lot of it has to do with the fact that part of the way we have come to understand superhero franchises is that you have 5 movies that led you into this one, and then it's setting up the next 5, you know. And the Shazam movies, I think, have very aggressively made it a point to kind of be apart from the rest of the DC universe, even though ostensibly it occupies that universe. And there's the occasional overlap. But I think if you're somebody who wants to, follow the DC saga writ large, you kind of know that you can miss these and it won't be a problem. Coupled with the fact that obviously the recent hiring of James Gunn and the other guy to be the new sheriffs in town have pretty much announced, okay, we're going to make this more unified. We're going to bring all this stuff together. And so I think a lot of the DC movies coming out now are sort of like the last respite of the pre-them era. And so it's like, well, it's not really going to necessarily tie into anything. So unless I'm super engaged and involved and a completist, I can let this one go.
But, I won't spoil it, but like the cameo at the end of the Shazam sequel and then what happens in that first mid-credit sequence seem like Band-Aid effort, to create cohesion within the rest of the DC, what they're now calling the DCU, no longer the DC Extended Universe, the DCU. So it sort of feels wedged in like, here's how we're going to connect him to other stuff you already know.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know this, but I will agree that it does sniff like that a bit.
Yeah, for sure. My son and one of his best friends went and saw it over the weekend, and the theater was like wide open, like on a Saturday at 12:30. A big superhero movie.
Dave went to see Creed 3 on Saturday afternoon at the Grove, and he was like, where is everybody? What was the big, Shazam.
So people were at Shazam?
No. The theater was empty. Like the whole Grove was empty. Like he said, his house at Creed 3 was actually pretty full, but generally speaking, the lobby seemed like, tumbleweeds. And so, it was not bringing them out.
Yikes. Well, a couple things to look forward to that might be more popular. Joyride looks great.
You know who can bypass airport security? K-pop stars. Everyone remember their names?
Sassy.
Cutie.
Lisa,
too.
It looks like raunchy Asian teenage girl, like sex and drugs and like the kind of movie that Asian teenage girls don't usually get. The kind of movie that has been like the domain of, white dudes forever.
Right. We did get Geraldine Viswanathan in Blockers, but that's the exception, not the rule.
Yeah, for sure. So among the stars of this are Ashley Park and Stephanie Hsu, of course, coming off of her Oscar nomination for Everything Everywhere All at Once. And it just looks wild and funny, and I'm excited about that. So that is July 7th. Before that, though, did you see that Eva Longoria's Flamin Hot Cheetos movie is going to be out. This is a big deal because it's going to come out simultaneously on Disney Plus and Hulu. It had a big opening at South by Southwest recently. It's called Flamin Hot.
Yes, telling a story that apparently a lot of people think is not even true.
Oh, really? Is there some doubt as to the veracity of the Flamin' Hot Cheetos origin story?
Apparently, yes. This seems to be a print the legend situation. But yeah, the idea is that it was some like a janitor at Frito-Lay who was like, you know what, Hispanic people really like spicy stuff, and created Flamin' Hot. And that's the story the movie tells. And I think even the movie kind of acknowledges, yeah, it may or may not have happened this way, but just go with it.
It's like their version of the Weird Al Yankovic biopic on Roku.
There you go.
Maybe he didn't come up with my Bologna this way, but it's really funny. So that's going to be coming out. I guess this has never happened before, that something drops simultaneously on both of the platforms, Hulu and Disney Plus, on June 9th. Victoria Alonso has left Marvel, which is a huge deal because she has been there since the very beginning. Longtime executive for Marvel, queer Argentine woman, and a female voice, an important female voice in a very male-dominated industry, but she's been there for a long time. I guess she exited is what the story says, the Hollywood Reporter story says, but...
Well, yeah, she's been right up there with Kevin Feige. And, there are different ways to look at this story. Certainly the fact that, the last few Marvel movies, I mean, I guess Wakanda Forever notwithstanding, but I think Doctor Strange and the second one and Quantumania both maybe under-delivered a bit. There's it's not quite the kind of guaranteed money machine these movies have been in the past. And so, they might be panicking and they're like, well, we can't get rid of Kevin Feige. We'll get rid of the woman who's, number 2 or whatever. Also, she just got her first Oscar nomination as one of the producers of Argentina in 1985, or maybe her first non-Marvel nomination. I'm not sure if she counted as one of the producers for Black Panther or whatever. And so it may be that she is looking to sort of expand her horizons as a person in film and wanting to get out of franchise stuff. I don't know. I'm sure we'll be hearing a lot of stories of, in the coming weeks. I'm sure a lot of, the worst corners of film Twitter have their own theories about this, and I don't want to know what they are.
Argentina 1985. Yeah, which I did not see.
I need to catch up with that one too.
Yeah, maybe
it's
we
on
can do
Prime
one of these days for sure. And then we need a quick correction. We were talking about Demi Lovato making a documentary about child stars last week, and we referred to Demi as she. Demi identifies as they and them, non-binary. So apologies for that mistake. Thank you for pointing that out, those of you guys who did. And then, did you guys see that the cast of Ted Lasso was at the White House yesterday?
Yes, walk me through this.
So it was Jason Sudeikis and Hannah Waddingham, and I'm blanking on his name. He's Coach Beard, and I'm blanking on Sam Obasanya's name in the heat of the moment here. And they were there to talk about mental health.
Okay.
Oh, and Brett Goldstein. And they were there to talk about mental health. They were in the actual White House press briefing room. And
in character, or
that's the thing. They are there as themselves.
Okay.
But then Trent Crim was there,
he's always got a question,
right? In his role, though, he said Trent Crim, fake journalist, and he asked Jason Sudeikis a question about the World Cup. Anyway, so it was like a weird kind of hybrid of like a meta thing, but they're really acting, but they're actually themselves. Anyway, it was kind of cute.
I think the show is part of, we're seeing a lot in pop culture lately that's trying to sort of destigmatize the idea of getting help, like seeing a therapist, acknowledging, that a lot of people, especially in the last few years with everything we've gone through, are dealing with depression and anxiety, and that it's okay to talk about that. Like even Desus and Mero, when their show was on Showtime, they would talk about this stuff and be like, you know what, a lot of times we're told that it's a sign of weakness. You're not supposed to, blah, blah, blah. But they were very open about this stuff. Brendan Hunt plays Coach Beard.
Thank you. Who is Sam Obasanya?
Toyu Jamo.
Thank you. I knew it all somewhere. Anyway, so they were all there. Good to see Trent Crim getting work because we were concerned in our last Ted Lasso recap that he is out of work these days. So he's down some freelancing.
There were 2 press conferences in episode 1 of season 3 and no Trent Crim. What the fuck, people?
Now we know where he's been. He's been at the White House.
There you go.